Ted Bundy, the monster in disguise. They say the devil doesn't come with horns and a pitchfork. He comes with a smile, a clean shave, and a gentle voice that makes you feel safe. Ted Bundy was that devil. In the early 1970s, America was waking up to a new kind of fear. It wasn't the fear of war or protest or political scandal. It was something more personal. Women were disappearing, young, bright, college-aged women. They vanished in broad daylight from campuses, parking lots, libraries. No signs of a struggle, no goodbyes. One moment they were there, the next, gone. And somewhere in the crowd, always unnoticed, was Ted. Charming, intelligent, the kind of man who held open doors, who smiled when he talked, who looked like someone you could trust. That's what made him so dangerous. While police scrambled to understand who could be behind the growing list of missing women, Ted Bundy was blending in, offering help with a fake cast on his arm, asking for assistance loading books into a car. He was polite, soft-spoken, disarming. He was also a killer. Behind that warm, boyish grin lived something cold, something that thrived in the dark, that planned every move with terrifying precision. His victims all had similar features: young, brunette, parted hair. He had a type, and he hunted them like prey. But Bundy wasn't content to stay in one place. His crimes stretched from Washington to Utah, Colorado, and Idaho. Wherever he went, bodies followed, buried in shallow graves in the woods, sometimes headless. He didn't just take lives. He took control, and he reveled in it. Even when caught, Ted couldn't be caged for long. He escaped from custody not once, but twice. The second time, he ran all the way to Florida, where his cruelty exploded into something almost inhuman. One night in January 1978, he broke into a sorority house at Florida State University. In just minutes, he attacked 4 women. 2 of them were left dead, the others barely survived. He beat them with a piece of firewood. He bit one of them so hard, his dental records would later seal his fate. And still, he wasn't done. Weeks later, he abducted a 12-year-old girl from her school. Her name was Kimberly Leach. Her body was found weeks later, hidden in a pigsty. The mask was finally slipping. When Bundy was arrested again, the country watched in horror and fascination. He represented himself in court, smiled for the cameras, proposed to a woman during his trial. He was treating a courtroom where the families of his victims sat grieving as his stage. A man who'd once worked at a suicide hotline now stood accused of killing more than 30 women. He confessed eventually, not out of guilt, but to delay his execution. He fed investigators details, one at a time, stretching out the truth like a game. Some say he never told the full story. Others believe the number of his victims may be far higher. On January 24, 1989, Ted Bundy was executed in Florida. Outside the prison, crowds gathered. Some held signs that read, "Burn, Bundy, burn." There were cheers, celebrations, relief, but also a lingering chill, because Bundy had looked like anyone. He was someone's neighbor, someone's co-worker, someone's boyfriend. That's what made him so terrifying. We tell these stories not to glorify the killer, but to remember the victims. To remind ourselves that evil doesn't always wear a monster's face. Sometimes it wears a suit. Sometimes it asks for help in a parking lot. Sometimes it smiles just before it kills. And if this story unsettles you, it should. Because Ted Bundy wasn't a ghost. He wasn't a legend. He was real.